Vancha Kalpatarushcha Kripasindabevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Anantakoti Vaishnavini Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Great to see you all. It's such a happy occasion. I first would like to make a prayer. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Gaurnitai, if you so desire, please empower our team so that we can see your Gora Shakti at work, your internal potency through which you empower your sincere servitors to spread the Sankirtan movement as your instruments. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So, yeah, I'm down here in Laguna Beach. I'm at somebody's house. We're getting ready to make a run at the airport. Just had a big event here. And I was talking to His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj, who was at the event. We had lunch together. And he was talking about ways in which he started his what is now an extravaganza, where he has these very large festival programs. And it started just with a small group of brahmacharis who had gone to a small town and then had advertised that they were going to put on a festival. People didn't know what that meant. And they only had one drum and a kartal and 5 ragtag brahmacharis. And when the person who was renting the hall asked them what they would do at the festival, talked about how they would do bhajan. And he said, "What's bhajan?" He said, "It's like a spiritual symphony." They had one drum, one kartal. And as the event grew near, then they actually had hundreds of people who came, and they put on their first performance, which was, by today's standard, extremely simple and just straight Hare Krishna, and the best they could. And it expanded into the way that they do it now, which is a very high level cultural presentation. Thousands and thousands of people come to. It reminded me of how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu works through us when we just try to do the right thing. And book distribution is one of those ways in which we learn everything about Krishna's energies by doing it. And that means that we come to know the Lord personally when we engage in book distribution, because it's such an authorized system that all the acharyas like. If you can find something that the acharyas like and you say, "I'll just do that." If you're one of the greatest examples I've ever seen of this principle is with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who was relentless in adhering to Srila Prabhupada's main instructions and fulfilling his expressed desires. He was an advocate for book distribution everywhere he went, and everywhere he went, book distribution grew and flourished eventually. And he didn't do anything fancy except for say that it was a good thing and ask devotees if they wanted to participate in something that would be in line with Srila Prabhupada's desires. What to speak of all the previous acharyas, what to speak of Krishna himself, who so much admires devotees who take a risk to go out into the world and teach people Krishna consciousness, that he said, these are the best of the best. Well, anybody can be in that category with a little bit of courage, which reminds me of what Prabhupada told us in 1975, circa, which is that a person, a young boy who was old enough to go in the military from some obscure state in the Midwest here in America, who might volunteer to go into the army and then he gets sent to the front lines. And in the course of doing his duty, he saves somebody by taking some inordinate risk and then becomes a hero, goes back home, a national hero, even though he was from an obscure place where he wouldn't have amounted to much. He would have stayed in the town, probably never traveled, probably never have would have been known by anyone. And Prabhupada said, we have that same opportunity. It's wartime, and there's no dearth of opportunities to preach Krishna consciousness. We can go anywhere in Krishna's creation, and right now for us, the Earth planet will do. And if we give ourselves to that spirit of going to the front lines and the spirit of those great Mahajans like Bali Maharaj, who risked everything for the sake of Vishnu, or Dadunsha, also known as Dadichi, who was willing to give his bones in charity because Vishnu wanted them. So he said, good way to give up your body. Bhagavatam says, better that than a life trying to protect yourself and live a long life. If you never had that thrill of giving up your sense of safety is all we have, for the sake of doing something heroic for Krishna, then you haven't lived. Better one moment of that, says the Bhagavatam, than a whole lifetime of simply trying to maintain yourself and protect yourself from the elements, which are relentless anyway. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj is a great devotee to remember at this time and how he was successful. He brought book distribution to India at a time when it was practically non-existent, and everywhere else he went. So we're remembering him and praying to follow in his footsteps, same mode. You don't have to do anything fancy, you just have to do the right thing. So we have upon us a great opportunity. Something has caught hold in the world. Prabhupada started it. He printed books when there was no paper. He didn't have much money. He sacrificed everything to get some literatures out because his guru wanted it. And then he started writing the Bhagavatam, and he brought the Bhagavatam first canto to America, went into full-scale production to get his books to as many people as possible. And then he also invited us and said, if you want to help me, please do. And here we are. There's no separation from Srila Prabhupada, from great souls like Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who followed in his footsteps. We're all connected to the same spiritual current. The Gaura Shakti is flowing through. And we learn when we take chances, I should say, when we calculate well, and then we take risks based on good calculations, commonsensical, then we see that we're not doing it. And that's inspiring. We can understand also in all parts of our lives, it's Krishna who's doing everything. And there's nothing in this life that gives any pleasure except for service, unmotivated, uninterrupted service. When my godbrother Sridhar Swami was leaving the world, I went to see him in Mayapur, and he told me, I don't want to leave the battlefield. He said, I want to be with all of my godbrothers just preaching. That's what he said. I don't want to leave the battlefield. If you feel like that, you're in luck, because Krishna's got service for you for eternity. And there's no more fulfilling way in which to live one's life except for to make a sacrifice for the sake of helping others become Krishna conscious. And it just so happens that human beings are so smart that if they see some lines of text and they look at it, it can transform them. That's why people love books. They're codes. And if they're the right codes, then they can use their lives, be transformed and inspired in such a way they can use their lives for the purpose of the whole creation. And that feels like you just won the cosmic lottery. everyone who gets a book, what to speak of Srimad Bhagavatam set, the most revered literature that is from the spiritual world. It's not even, it never even touches the material world. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo. Narada Muni says it's not from this creation. That's an amazing book. You have a book that's not from here. Where did it come from? Oh, the spiritual world. And we have it, term I like to use, weaponized, because human beings don't see it coming. It's just a book. And when it goes in their house and they start reading it, it's inevitable that they're going to catch Krishna consciousness, and their families, generations to come, what to speak of what they might do with their resources and their goodwill to help spread it. So it's an exciting time, and we still have an opportunity around the world to really let loose. We have our eyes fixed on this number. It's 100,008. We had it at 100,000, but many of you might remember when His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj was on one of these calls. He said, "Why don't you make it 108?" I don't remember when he said that. Maybe it was in London. But if he said it, I'll put the 8 on the end and then be very sure they're going to make it. I like it as a logo because it just looks cool. 100,008. Put it on a hat, put it on your shirt, and walk around. It's like, what's that for? That's the number we're going to hit in 2026. So to get there, we've calculated, because we're humans and we can figure stuff out. And I mean, I can't, but other people can. There is a way in which we can progressively go from where we are now to 100,008 by 2026. What we'd like to do is take that as an offering and say, Srila Prabhupada, we did this for you. And that's going to be our base. And that's going to be our legacy, that we did it together over several years. We were able to boost book distribution by taking advantage, availing ourselves of Gora Shakti, that Lord Chaitanya is just waiting to delve out to all those who are interested in it. And we get to 100,008. To do that, we just need a burning desire and some strategy. That's all we need. And we can do that, right? What do you think? Burning desire and some strategy. Thanks, Shamahini. Okay, so there's an interim point. That's this year. We'd like to hit a number. We're trying to get the word out to everybody, because where attention goes, energy flows. You can't assume that everyone's going to remember this, and everyone's busy. So unless you talk to them and mention that this is a good idea and it's happening, then they might miss the opportunity. I'm talking internally. Let's see what our numbers are for this year. Our goal is 68,000 only. 68,000 only. And that's for 2024. Another important number or date is that we've organized things so that everyone can get together with their teams and decide what your pledge will be for 2024. We recommend that you think about it, brainstorm it. There's a lot of power in brainstorming with your team and seeing what are ways that we can increase this year, not just saying we'll do the same things we did last year. I mean, you can, but if you think about it, Krishna will give you intelligence how to do new things and how to get the word out and how to contribute towards the whole. Now, this is another exciting opportunity, because in general, in the material world, there's a sense of competition. And we have that also, spiritual competition. But we also trend towards unity, because it's so powerful to have a universal goal. And if everyone takes up a sense of responsibility, try to do what they can do in each region to come to that point of contributing towards the ultimate goal. It's not ultimate, but it's definitely a big one for 2026 to have 100,008. So this year it's 68,000. If you divide that in an equitable manner, you can come up with some ideas for what you might aspire for in your team. Shamahini, what else do you?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, we do have some tools that can help the devotees set their goals, and we can bring them up a little bit later. But I wanted to, if it's okay with you, we can hear from the leaders how they're doing, how things are going in their different regions. Would this be a good time to do that?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Let's hear from all of you. What are you focusing on? How are you approaching this for this year?
I just want to acknowledge that we have Koladvi Pran Prabhu on the call. He's our liaison with Team Bangladesh. And I just
Yay.
wanted to check in with him and see if he'd like to share an update. It's the first time that we have representation from Bangladesh on a call.
That's
So
a
I,
huge deal. Okay, fantastic. Let's do that. Hare Krishna Koladvi, good to see you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj and Hare Krishna, all the assembled devotees. Actually, we have also direct representative from Bangladesh today. Joint General Secretary of ISKCON Bangladesh, His Grace Jagat Guru Gauranga Das Prabhu also joined today. He actually manages all the BBT affairs there in Bangladesh. Yeah, so he will speak in next meeting maybe, because today he is not prepared enough, but I will just bring some issues which he talked to me during our personal conversation. So Bangladesh distributed in 2022 campaign about 5,000 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, but during our last 2023 campaign they were able to do only 4,000 sets because of lack of supply of Bhagavatam sets from Indian BBD to Bangladesh BBD. And right now in their disposal they have only 400 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So these actually they are constrained by the supply right now. And I think there is some government issue going on also, so that they cannot use a lot of dollars to buy the books from outside countries. So there is some constraint from the government side also, because I think the government is lacking dollar reserve for the country, so they don't want too much money to be spent outside the country. So these are some of the issues he pointed out to me. He said, like, we have a lot of demand of Srimad Bhagavatam because the preaching exploded in Bangladesh in a big way in last 5 years, but they are trailing behind because of lack of supply. So if we can actually talk with the BBT management, I think they also send some messages to BBT in charge in India, like Bhima Prabhu and so on. So through Bhakti Vijay Bhagavat Maharaj, who owns or who maintains the BBT in ISKCON Mayapur Dham. So they want some direct guidance from them, and if the supply chain can be maintained properly, I think they can do much better than they had done in 2022. They did not come up with any number because they are still not sure how much sets they can get in hand by the time the Bhadra campaign is done. So so Jagadguru Goranga Prabhu is here. You can see that his video is on. So Prabhu, you want to speak something now? Because His Grace Vaisheshika Maharaj is here. So if you
Yeah,
can. Yeah,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Prabhu and all the devotees. Thank you for inviting us, Bangladesh devotees. So, as Kulodeep Prabhu is mentioning, I didn't want to express everything today because we wanted to also discuss this thing with BBT authority in details. Then I wanted to come back with the all information. But we had some discussion with the BBT management. It seems that they are also eager to make all the arrangement, but there are some complication uh, because this is a Muslim country, Bangladesh, and it's very difficult if also they want to print it here, because if government comes to know that we are printing a huge volume of religious book, that is also that can be an issue also. And what we are facing now, previously we used to import lot of books and government didn't notice it at that time. But gradually, government is becoming uh, more sensitive in this issue. Not directly government, but they do everything through Bangladesh Bank, which is their representative. So it's not only our problem due to lack of dollar. We can't import books. It's problem throughout Bangladesh with all the importers. And beside that, we have religious book, and this is another issue. If we want to make big volume of LC, then they come to know they are bringing lot of religious book, so that they can make an issue. So that's why we are very sensitive and conscious about that. That at least we can bring some book, not as demand as the devotees want to distribute, or the temple they have not as per the demand. We cannot bring. So that's
Jagaguru,
the main problem. Yeah.
yeah, so uh, let's get together offline and we'll have a special conference just with you and Koladweep, and we'll talk to Bhima and Ananda Tirthapro at the BBT in India. And we'll get all the details down there and look for where the workarounds are. We'll do whatever we can in our power to make sure that we find every workaround and execute it. Does that sound okay?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
We cannot express how thrilled we are to have you here. Bangladesh is such a mighty army of devotees, and we're praying for your success on all levels. It's one of the mainstays of the whole overall campaign for book distribution, and we're deeply grateful for your leadership. Shamahini, let's make an appointment so we can bring together the leaders of the BBT, and we'll have a discussion together and find out the fine details. Does that sound okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Sure.
Okay. Tonight I'm leaving in a few minutes because I have a plane to catch. So let's see if we can get a couple more in. If you can keep it concise. Maybe Baba Sundhi, can we hear from you from New Zealand, what you've got going there? What's the mood? What's happening?
Hare Krishna, ladies and my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, so it's exciting times in New Zealand at the moment. There's lots of different initiatives going on and lots of enthusiastic devotees. Soumya Mai from Wellington, she's got a newsletter going out called Transcendental Tidings every month. So I've been talking to her about getting kind of like an ongoing Bhadra Praneem theme going. So everyone in New Zealand is aware of the ongoing aspects of it, and kind of casting a wide net of variety of ways that we can get Srimad Bhagavatam out to people, and just raising awareness about it amongst the devotees at the moment again. So getting teams together, goals together, plans, kind of reflecting on what well last year. So we're just in the beginning stages as well for this year, but having lots of nice stories of devotees being prepared, and feeling very grateful after hearing from Bangladesh that we have books in stock, and devotees are becoming more conscious of having those books on them at all times. There was a small Harinam party out the other day, and they had distributing halava, and somebody walked past and gave $150, and he was like, oh, take a Krishna book, and he was like, okay. And then he was like, here, have some more money, and gave another 150. He's like, well, you should take Srimad Bhagavatam then, And he's like, okay. So I just took a set to his car. He's like, here, have some more money. And, just within a few minutes, because that devotee was bold enough to ask and prepared enough to have a Bhagavatam set there, then, so we're just being conscious of having Bhagavatam wherever we go at all the programs, and trying to come up with new ideas about how we can spread awareness and make Bhagavatam seen.
Wow, thank you very much, Baba Sundhi. Facts tell, but stories to sell. And that was a great reminder. And it's also such an important point you made about building awareness. an early start. It's like a runway. If the runway's too short, plane's not going to take off. So as you're advising, we can take that advice ourselves and spread it to everybody to take time to build the awareness campaign starting now. Very nice. Shamini, maybe you could say, what is the time we're asking everyone to make their pledges by?
July 5th, it's Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day.
Yeah,
So
these
your pledges
auspicious
in
days.
by July 5th.
Okay, July 5th, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Divine Disappearance Day. Okay, maybe I can sneak one more in before they start honking the horn out there for me to jump in the car to go to the airport. And how about if we hear from Rukmini Mohan? Prabhu, just give us a minute and a half summary of what's happening out there in Fiji.
Hare Krishna, Vishishika Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Thank
glory
you.
to Srila Prabhupada. Vishishika Prabhu, keep it short. We're going to be ramping up now the work on this campaign going forward now. And we are going to get the scores in by 6th July? Oh,
5th.
yeah, 5th July, yes. Yeah, 5th July, we'll be able to get in the scores in. And just basically praying for the mercy of all the Vaishnavas so that we do again for this campaign. Thank you.
Always instills courage seeing you, Prabhu. Thank you for your amazing ongoing campaign there in Fiji, and our best to all the devotees there. How about we swing over to Australia? Dvija Pitambara, could you represent Australia for us and give us a 1.5 minute update?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. So here in Australia, we have a very nice team of devotees, and we have very nice communications going. So the same as everywhere else, we're starting to sort of get the momentum and starting some quotes going out and some sort of suggesting everyone to start setting the goals. So that's just in the preparation stage at the moment. And in Melbourne, we are the devotees are already quite fired up, and they distributed. We already distributed around 55 Bhagavatam sets so far. And yesterday we had a book table, and the Mataji who went there, there was hardly anyone there at the book table in the event that we went for, and the devotee was complaining that there's nobody here and that we can't really distribute books because we don't have anyone to give books to. And we just had some encouraging conversation, and she comes back with like 3 Bhagavatam sets and distributing 3 Bhagavatam sets and a few other books. So it's quite a successful event. And so we are quite enthused, and I think the application that you shared about setting the goal based on the last year's distribution, so that's quite encouraging. It's a big number, but we are inspired to distribute.
Wow, what a great reminder. Nobody there, but you still bring your Bhagavatam sets. And then you find that Gaura Shakti works and Lord Chaitanya makes the arrangement. These are the ways in which we get solid faith in the presence of Lord Chaitanya in our lives as we participate in the Sankirtan movement. When you have a little skin in the game and you go out into the world and you have these experiences, nobody there, nobody in sight, but then somehow or other he sends 3 sincere souls. We can't control anything practically. We have such a tiny little circle of influence. But if we connect to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and we pray, that's the real secret. Advaitacharya prayed and prayed and prayed. If you pray till you cry, if you can't stand it that people are suffering and you want to make it available, and you just chant the best rounds you've ever chanted, and you make a goal to read Prabhupada's books and pray to be used as an instrument. That's the whole secret to the Sankirtan movement. We add a little strategy to it just to manage the results that Lord Chaitanya brings, but it really does come from prayer and prayer in our chanting of the holy name. It makes life worth living. You know, unless we're having this overwhelming experience that we want to do something for Lord Chaitanya that's meaningful. We want to do something for Prabhupada that counts. When we think of these great souls, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and we want to follow in their footsteps and do something that matters in the world, that shows up on the map, that's meaningful, then Lord Chaitanya will use us and we'll reform all the other parts of our life just so we can focus on that and be empowered by Lord Chaitanya. That's life. Everything else is scary, it's a burden, and it's boring as what's the good word for that? Boring as what? Boring as watching paint dry on your wall. So this is the time. We're alive now. We're in Kali Yuga. We landed in the right Yuga. We got airdropped in here somehow or other. And now's our chance to go to the front lines and really make a difference. We're tired of this mess on the material, in the material world, on the Earth planet, and we want to do something about it. And we're it. This is our team right here. We're looking at each other. We're all in this team together. So I'm so grateful to all of you. And I'll leave with a prayer. The meeting's not stopping. We have some really exciting things coming up, not the least of which hearing from Ranchor Prabhu, and maybe he'll tell you about all he's been doing. He joined this team right during our yatra. It's fantastic. And he's bringing in a lot of other young people too. Hare Krishna Ranchorji. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Panchatattva, if you so desire, please empower our team to take advantage of your unlimited mercy and let us strategize, plan, brainstorm, and think big in your service to spread the Srimad Bhagavatam for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Thanks, everybody. Hare Krishna. Sorry to cut out early on you, but I got to catch a flight, and I'll see you soon. Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we're continuing on to share some tools. As Vaisheshika Prabhu mentioned, Ranchor Prabhu is going to share the pledge making tool. So for all of you, some of you I know already saw it through the telecast from the Bhadra call for the rest of the world earlier this month. But Ranchor Prabhu, you ready?
Yes, Mataji. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I'll quickly share my screen. This year, with the large influx, we have an internship program in the summer, and with a large influx of manpower on our team, we're going to attempt to utilize all the data that we have and all the data we can find in order to make it easier for devotees to make informed decisions on how they can distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. So this is just one of these such ways. Essentially, this is a pledge calculator based on what you've done in previous years. So, for instance, it's quite easy to use. You can select your region and your country. I'll pick on ISKCON Adelaide right now. And you can see that we're telling that ISKCON Adelaide ideally would pledge 15 Bhagavatam sets for this 2024 Bhadra Purnima. And you can see that it's not just come out of a hat, it's a very informed decision based on past data. So we're getting a gradual 23% increase that puts us on track for 100,008 Bhagavatam sets in 2026, just 2 short years away. So additionally, there are some yatras. I just saw the map, ISKCON Suva in Fiji, that did exceptionally well in 2023. So for those yatras, we also recommend an extra small challenge, saying that, okay, they did as many sets in 2023 as they would be expected to do in 2026. So we asked them to push the knob a little bit more, and just help the rest of the world close out the gap so we can make it to that beautiful 100,008 number. Additionally, for everyone's convenience, you can generate these reports as a PDF. So you can generate and download the reports so they can be easily sent to other devotees or other leaders that may be requiring it. And you can also generate reports for the entire country or community or region that the center is in. So you can generate every temple in a certain region. So that if you're overseeing several different temples, several different communities, you can have all that information at a glance. So yes. I can paste the link to the tool right now in the chat, but it has been pasted in the broadcast group and also the other broadcast calls. So we hope that this tool can be useful in helping you all make your pledges by July 5th and allowing you to expand book distribution, specifically distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam at a way that is sustainable and effective for your yatra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Rancho Prabhu. I think setting a right goal is very crucial to the success of anything in life, and especially for our campaigns. And in the past, we've often had struggles where devotees may or may not remember how much did we do last year, what are we supposed to shoot for this year. And I think this pledge tool helps us systematically calculate what we should aim for. I'm wondering if anybody has any questions about this that they'd like to ask or discuss, or how you feel about it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I just have one question. The goals is going for a 23% increase. Is that a 23% increase on the goal that was made the previous year, or on what they actually did? Because a few teams made goals that they didn't quite reach.
Right now, the goals are being set based on the pledges from 2022. Because when we set the goal for 2026, it was based off the numbers from 2022. And then it's like progressively increasing from there with the aim of reaching 1008 sets by 2026. Thank you. Any other questions or comments about this? Are there any things that you would like to share? Thank you, Rancho Prabhu. Thank you so much for this. I'm also wondering, we'll be sharing the resources that have been created by the team in the chat as well. Sham Bhakti Mataji, if you can put that up on the chat window. But I'd like to hear from all of our leaders as to what types of resources would help in assisting with the distribution locally. Are there things that you would like us to produce more? Any kind of what type of trainings you would like? There was one where Shishika Prabhu would like us to get together and have a calling party where different leaders from different parts of the world actually call in local leaders to, help them get connected with the goal, help inspire them, make them aware of the campaign, and we would draw strength from the numbers in this call ourselves. So I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but we used to do calling parties during the pandemic. And it was essentially because nobody could go out. So everybody would connect in through the Zoom call. So we would be sitting in like we're sitting here now. And we could go on mute and use our phones to make calls to other people to either distribute a book or a set, or even just for somebody to tell them about the campaign. And then using the chat window, we could share the results of our calling. I did one set, or, I have this objection that somebody raised. Can somebody help me with it? So having that kind of a synergy really helps. So there was a suggestion that in a future Zoom call, we could have that. But I just want to hear from everybody and see if there's resources that you would like us to develop so that we can support you more. Rukmini Mohan Prabhu? I can't hear you, Prabhu.
See, one of the things that is really helpful to us is, small quotes and posters promotions, like, you make a quote on Srimad Bhagavatam, and it helps when you're sending communication out that the relevance, the importance of Bhagavatam in our daily lives. So I always use the quotes that is created. It's very, very beautiful quotes. So if we can get more of these, it'd be really helpful to us.
Okay, so definitely point noted. And we have a new group of social media team members. We're going to be very excited to work on that so we can share more of those very soon with you. Gopal Gupta Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Yes, my name is Gopal Haridas.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Please accept my obeisances.
Accept my obeisances. Bhagavad Prabhupada, calling from ISKCON Naperville. And thank you for all of this wonderful inspiration. Thank you, Rancho Prabhu, for the new tool. It's very helpful. I was actually saying the same thing, asking the same thing that Rukmini Mohan Prabhu mentioned, that if we can get lines on what to say, distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So there's, general lines for books, but particularly tried and tested, lines, paragraphs that we can say to distribute these sets. That would be very helpful. And you probably have those, but we just haven't received them.
Yes, Prabhu, definitely. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of having a team like this, like a global team, where we can share best practices from different regions that work. So here I just opened the Google Drive link that Sham Bhakti Mataji has posted in the chat window, and you can see that it has training sessions, like training, PowerPoint presentation, how to distribute a full set, Srimad Bhagavatam flip chart, the different things that people can use to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Also on our YouTube channel, we have trainings from previous presentations on distributing Bhagavatam sets. There's at a glance cards that talk about what, how to distribute a Bhagavatam set, what's the mood, how to connect, how to make a presentation, how to ask for a donation. So all this is there at the link that was shared in the chat, and we also keep updating this link. So it's a live link, and you can see that these are the posters that we used last year, and this is the first one that was released this year, and more stuff will keep coming here as well. That we've received some requests to have customized posters for each temple, because sometimes temples don't have the capacity to design their own posters or pull out banners or tablecloths. So that's something that our team is working on, and we should be able to provide that to all of you very soon as well.
Thank you. This is really helpful. And I've copied the Google Drive.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to share anything? Any questions or? Okay. Well, like Vaisheshika Prabhu mentioned, our deadline for the goals, or our goal is to get all the pledges in by July 5th, which is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Ranchar Prabhu already put the pledge tool in. Sham Bhakti Mataji, if I can ask you to please put the pledge form on the chat as well, so that devotees can submit their pledges. Oh, it's already there, but we can repost it. Thank you. So you can use this form to submit your pledge, and we will be preparing maps that show us where we are. Collectively, our goal is 68,000 sets, at least 68,000 sets this year. Bhadra Purnima falls on September 17th or 18th, depending on where you are. What date is it in New Zealand? Do you know, Bhavasandi? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Sorry, off the top of my head, I can't remember which one.
No problem. All good. I think in North America, it's the 17th, in some parts, and 18th in others, and in India, it's the 18th. So depending, let's find out where your local Bhadra Purnima dates are, and let's make a plan. First, let's make a pledge, because your pledge is your wedge, as we've all heard, and then we should assume that it can be done, because Lord Chaitanya will carry the day for us. We just have to put our intention and attention towards achieving the goal. Please connect with your local leaders. Please encourage devotees to advocate for the goal, so that we can collectively march towards offering 100,008 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam to Srila Prabhupada in 2026. We'll have more of these calls. Please also stay connected to the BBT News broadcast group. We put out a lot of material there regularly. We've also put out some reels on YouTube, and there's training material as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. I'm going to put our email and also my WhatsApp number. So if you like, you can write to us, and our team will be very happy to assist you in this service. Thank you all so much for joining today. It's great that we're back now for Bhadra 2024 to restart where we left off last year, and we're looking forward to connecting with you on regular Zoom calls. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.